Okay, so this is the Everything Attachments Garden Better. It came in with this in one box and all of the things that need to be bolted on in a second box. So we just mounted it to the tractor for assembly, and there's no instructions that I didn't notice any in the box. Maybe they fell out. But regardless, it's a pretty straightforward thing. All I had to do was look at a picture, and we're going to just put this thing together. So these arms here will go on the outside right here with one of these, and then once we get this mounted, this with the single hole, once that's mounted, that will bolt to this for preventing the ruts from your tires. The discs then go here and are mounted with one of these, of course. You adjust the height. Then this here will mount in the center with your furrow right there. And then same on the other side as over here. So that's really all there is to it. We'll go ahead and put it together. All right, so I've got that side tightened up and set up properly, and this side where things are loose, if you can see it's loose, we're just going to put this side together here, and I'll show you how I did it. But as far as the height goes, I looked at several videos. It's set how I want. I looked at the videos online where people have assembled theirs, but they didn't talk about assembly, but they used it. And in using it, they used it, made adjustments, used it, made adjustments. And instead of actually trying to guess where I wanted all this, which is still kind of a guess, I looked at where they had theirs set up at the end, and it seemed like all of them had the disc, the top of this rod, set just about an inch, inch and a half or so lower than this outside shovel thing that removes your track as you, it's kind of like a mini plow. It's not really a plow, but whatever that thing's called. It goes behind your tire and it fluffs up the ground so you don't leave compacted tire tracks as you drive through your garden. So I have the disc just an inch, inch and a half lower, and then this I've seen some people have it up high, some people have it down low, but this can kind of be adjusted for me with my top link just by adjusting the tilt. As I lower the tilt, it's going to bring it down a little bit. As I raise the tilt, it'll bring it up a little bit. Yes, that's going to change the angle, but because this sticks out about a foot behind the 3-point attachment, it's going to move more rapidly than the rest of these items. So I'm going to just go ahead and set it about even with the outside setting. I noticed that everybody seemed to have it higher than the disc, or even with the disc, or higher. So I'm just going to set it even with that outside item over there, and that'll be our starting point. Okay, I'll just lock that in right there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. And it's got a lock nut, secondary nut, that you use it to lock it in place. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and set these where we want so they match that side with symmetry. It's super easy to put these in. They're just U-bolts, and you just tighten them up with lock nuts. And on this this item here, it goes underneath that with the washer and lock washer and nuts. So we're going to have this about the same height. And I'll just measure it like that, because the measurement's not as critical as the difference between these two. So we're going to go ahead and go up. And that's where we have it. Then this, you just slide it over that nut. When you let it go, it'll kind of stay there just from wrenching itself. Put in the larger washer, then the lock washer, and then the nut. I'll tighten that up in just a second. But before I do, let me go ahead and check the height here, because I want these to match. And they do. So now I'll tighten up these U-bolts. When you tighten up these U-bolts, you do want them, oh, I've got this socket which fits it. It's a 15/16. You do want them to be about even threads sticking out of the nut on the both sides. And the pipes are solid, so I'm not too worried about the torque. I'm doing it pretty firmly. I don't know what the torque setting is supposed to be, but I seriously doubt it's any more critical than a grunt tight. Alright, so that should be good. Now we just need to set the other disc. So I want to match the pitch. Which is the angle. And also match the height. So I may have to tighten it up a little bit more to get it to stay. Hand, and then I'll check the height. I got this one pitched a little too much, or a little more than this one, although that one could probably go more. No, I'm going to go with that. So there. So this one needs to go down just a tad. So that's about the same. And I'm going to tighten these up. fits. A little too small for that. It turned it until it had any resistance, and obviously we don't want to strip it, so it's probably a 3/4. No, it's not. 9/16. But I don't have a 9/16 with me, so we'll just use this wrench. And so we're just going to tighten all 4 of these, 2 over here and 2 over there. So we're going to go give this a try. Catch you on in a minute. Okay, so when I was doing my tilling, I went east-west just because I have a longer garden and it's going to be more time efficient. But I actually want my rows north-south, so we're going to go across the direction that I tilled. Hopefully my settings are good. Gotta put it in four-wheel drive. I don't want to plow my tire tracks that deep, so I'm going to angle it up a little bit. See if that helps.
medium gear. Alright, on that one, I tilted up a little too high and I started getting tire tracks, so I dropped it back down. We'll go back over it a second time to get rid of those tire tracks. Still have a little tire track, so I'm going to drop it a little more. So I like my rows, but the tire track area actually would like it a little bit more compacted, I think. But I'll just do that with my foot and with a rake, smooth that out. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, we'll go ahead and stop the video for now, and I'll catch you when I'm done. Okay, I like the way it turned out. I had to just adjust the stop set on the drop of the 3-point hitch. It has an adjustment over here so you don't go too low. And once I did that, everything worked out just fine. So this is my first time using the Everything Attachments row bedder, or to that point, any row bedder, and I'm pretty happy with it. We've got distinguished hills. The valleys will probably pack a little bit. I'll rake them a little bit to pull a little more dirt on the rows. I may need to broaden my discs slightly, but for a first timer, I'm very happy with this. Okay, so I just got done raking the valleys a little bit to make my rows a little bit more distinguished. And you know, it took me probably 45 minutes because it was all loose, but I'm happy with the results. So hopefully we'll have a decent garden. This is only the second time I've ever had a garden. We had one a few years ago. Didn't have one last year. So we're gonna try again, see how it goes. Catch y'all later, have a blessed day.